May you prosper. Practice. So that we can understand the purpose of practice. If we understand the method of practice, therefore, this method, no teacher can say what to do. If we can understand the method, understanding the nature is not difficult. So when we come in, let's open our hearts. Open your hearts. Accept the method and practice it all the time. For 7 days, I will be transmitting. Then adjust, correct the methods we have practiced. Because mostly we practice many places. Some teachers practice themselves. Listen, then practice. We will only get practice. Peace may occur sometimes or may not occur at all. This is because we don't know the purpose of the method, why we meditate. Why do we walk meditation? Therefore, when we walk meditation, sit in meditation accordingly. The important thing is for us to be with our bodies. Being with the body, we see the nature of the body. So being with the body doesn't mean we will understand the body. Because we're forcing the body too much, and it will be compelling. Forcing the body, and forcing to know. Forcing the body, forcing perception. Perception would be too tight. We'll only get mindfulness, not wisdom. The mindfulness that everyone has been practicing, including myself, we've been practicing like this. To practice mindfulness to establish firmness, hoping to gain peace from the practice. That is mindfulness. Hence, some achieve peace, some do not. But never once have we aspired to enlightenment. When we don't aspire to enlightenment, it's difficult for us to truly see symptoms as they are. So I've learned by myself the mistakes in my own practice, which provided enough lessons to know what's wrong and what's right. Then I gathered teachings. Meditation practice, wisdom, are the same thing. So the doctrine I'm teaching or will practice is the practice of mindfulness and also enlightenment at the same time. No need to wait for peace or mindfulness first. Because the basic level of mindfulness, we don't need to delve into mindfulness. Just average mindfulness. If we call it mindfulness, it's the stage of insight meditation. Mindfulness that can perceive arising and ceasing of every phenomenon of nature. So, we don't need to be peaceful to achieve enlightenment. Just having average mindfulness and seeing nature as it is. Doing it, born and extinguished by nature itself. So, the easiest way to start is the method of observing the mind. But the term observing the mind doesn't mean we focus on observing the mind alone. Because the mind has to go through the body. We have to start with the body first, to see the symptoms of the mind. If we aim only to see the symptoms of the mind, it means we have no foundation of learning. So, the important foundation of learning is to start learning from the body. If we are not with the body, it means we are projecting outward, which Luang Pudun said was exported abroad as Samytai. It means outside the body. So, whether it's the doctrine of mindfulness or the doctrine of enlightenment, it still relies heavily on the foundation of the body. If we are away from the body, we cannot see nature, because the body and mind work together and coordinate. We have to use doctrine. Doctrine is being still. Being still and observing. This method of observation will enable us to have mindfulness, observing at the foundation of the body. Observation is about observing the body. By being still and observing how the body functions, especially the sensations occurring in the body itself. The body already has sensations within itself. There are sensations of coolness, warmth, softness, and hardness within the body. But we don't need to differentiate whether it's cold, warm, soft, or hard, just feel wherever. Wherever you feel, that's the feeling. Whether it's a feeling in the lower part or a feeling in any part, it means we're feeling the body. Call it body awareness. So we must feel the body. Therefore, we must feel the body. Feel the body where it already feels, so that the awareness stays with the body awareness all around, together. So the term feeling the body together means we just feel the body without using the eyes to look at the body, thinking that we're molding the body. Because if we use the eyes to look at the body, or using the mind to mold the body, it becomes rigid. If we just grasp the body sensation, it's just a fresh feeling. So the fresh feeling it's fresh within the body itself. It can rely on vibrations, because every time it vibrates, it brings a sensation to the body. Our body can vibrate. There must be movement. Like walking, our body vibrates. Changing our posture makes our body vibrate. But it doesn't mean it's only when changing posture that the body vibrates. We sit quietly, or lie quietly, it still vibrates. It vibrates because our body breathes. If we are still observing at the base of the body, we will see that our body never stops vibrating. It vibrates constantly. Vibrates because our body breathes. And sometimes we just lie still, breathing in and out. Our heart is beating. That's the vibration of the body vibrating by itself with the body. Because the breath enters and exits by itself. And sometimes we just lie still, breathing in and out. Our heart is beating. In our body, there will be a heartbeat and blood circulation. That is the circulation of warm and cold, gentle and firm, that which occurs within oneself. That is what is known. So, what is known? It functions with its own body. We don't have to interfere with the body in any way. No need to make the body vibrate, no need to make it tighten, no need to help the breath in and out. Just still. Be aware throughout, lightly. And try to observe and see that nature is everything. It works by itself with its own nature, as usual. We don't have to do anything at all. The awareness don't have to do. The awareness just have to gently remind. at the base of the body. This is the beginning of enlightenment practice that goes hand in hand with meditation. Because as we see, feel the breath in and out by itself, meditation will arise. While we know the breath in and out by itself. Inhale clearly, exhale clearly. Inhale roughly, exhale roughly. It's about the mood itself. We don't have to make the breath longer or shorter. So, the breath comes in long or short. It's up to the body itself how much breath it needs. If the body needs more breath, it will inhale longer. Exhale longer. Inhale short, exhale short, as the body desires. So, we're just observers, lightly. We didn't come to do anything. And we don't act either. So, practicing shouldn't be too strict. So, practice doesn't have to be too rigid. Just train to know naturally, in a relaxed way. Adjust the awareness slightly. When the body tightens, we relax the body. When the mind tightens, we relax the mind comfortably. When awareness tightens, we relax the awareness comfortably. It's an unlocking. During the day. How do we know if the body tightens? How do we know if the mind tightens? How do we know if the awareness tightens? We have to diligently observe that at this moment. How does our body feel? Especially our eyes. Our eyes tend to wander. Wander around. Because they seek clarity with what is known. That's it. Consider that we are already doing it because we interfere. By bringing the eyes to squint. Then the eyes become tense. When the eyes are tense, awareness becomes tense too. This is not the nature of meditation. So, the principle of enlightenment is that awareness must be light. Awareness must be light, comfortably light. Comfortable as if not doing anything at all. Which is different from meditation. Meditation we control. Staying with it all the time. And requires clarity, for breath or for the body. We only get peace, only the essence of meditation. But if we adjust it to the essence of enlightenment, we have to relax awareness comfortably. Without having to do anything. Train awareness to relax comfortably and let awareness be aware of reality. When we practice like this, it may be inadvertent. Enjoyable, that's it. Consider that we are adjusting to nature. Don't be afraid that it might be inadvertent. Don't be afraid that it might be enjoyable. If we don't enjoy it inadvertently at that time, awareness won't be neutral. Rhythm of awareness. Seeing nature with awareness itself. It's close. Inadvertent, enjoyable. So we have to accept enjoyment. Because while enjoying, awareness will be comfortable. This is the technique. Don't think that if it's enjoyable, we won't accept enjoyment. Because enjoying is the rhythm of awareness that is naturally comfortable. Just remember, we have to accept enjoyment. Even practicing meditation, we have to accept enjoyment. So we can access peace. Because while accessing peace, there will be awareness enjoying, it's the phase of tranquility. That's the tranquility phase, they're really half asleep, half awake. In the phase of nearly asleep, nearly awake. That's if it's not nearly asleep, nearly awake. We won't be able to access peace. That's the phase of tranquility. So we have to accept the phase of tranquility. When we know what the phase of tranquility is, we just let awareness fall into tranquility. It means leaving oneself to fall asleep. Without having to do anything, without setting anything, without pushing anything. Just feeling light and then letting oneself fall into tranquility. While in tranquility, one gets closer to falling asleep. When one gets closer to falling asleep, it means awareness gets to the base of tranquility during half sleep and half awake. In the half sleep, half awake phase, we will feel subtle winds. The air becomes subtler. It's light, comfortable breeze. It seems like the wind is gone, but one still perceives the wind. It seems like the body is gone, but one still knows there is a body. When one truly reaches tranquility, they will leave the body. Not taking the body. Not taking the feelings. Only awareness remains, aware in tranquility. One will feel the body disappear. The breath disappears. But in reality, the body and the breath don't disappear, because awareness is grounded in tranquility. It's the tranquility phase. They leave the body. They leave the breath. So, only aware, remaining with tranquility. It's tranquility that leaves the body, leaves the breath, leaves everything. Only aware remains. That's the feeling of concentration meditation called Upanasamadhi. And the feeling of insight enlightenment is the same. Aware, until they know. They know it's right beside. It's a rhythm of awareness. The rhythm of knowing, that's it. They're not in the body. Not outside the body. But right beside the body. Knowing right beside the body means not diving into the body. Knowing beside the body means not sinking into the body, but still seeing the body's workings naturally by the body itself. Knowing without sinking into the mind states, or without sinking into the heart states. Seeing the workings of the heart and mind naturally by themselves. It is something that is known. Knowing without intervening. Seeing the body's natural workings. Seeing the heart's natural workings. Seeing the mind's natural workings. Whether it's sensations arising in the body or the mind. They express themselves directly. It's something that's truly known. And the nature of mental actions, or the behavior of the mind, they also express themselves directly. It's something that's known to occur within the mind itself. Actually, it's not the mind itself, but rather just mental actions or the shadow of the mind, or simply the symptoms of the heart itself. Symptoms of a noun. Whether it's sensations. It all arises from the body having to go through the body. We'll notice how our heart feels at the moment. That's mental sensation. Sometimes we feel happy, sad, or neutral. That's the nature that arises within the heart itself. We're quietly observing lightly within the domain of perception. We see that happiness or sadness, or neutrality, it arises, according to the symptoms, according to the causes and conditions of that feeling. No one is causing the feeling, but feeling is expressing itself naturally through the feeling itself. And then memory. Memory. We don't need to memorize, because the memory itself can be done by the memory itself. The memory's duty is to remember. Every time memory rises, what it knows is that it knows everything. It always includes memory. And then the memory itself does its duty to forget, to understand, not to understand, meaning the understanding of the memory itself. If not understood, the memory is not understood. That's the duty of the memory that's expressing nature itself through the memory itself. Well, we're aware lightly. And the duty of perception is to adorn the thoughts. They do their duty. While we're aware lightly, thoughts will arise. With the nature of thoughts themselves, which we don't have to correct to stop thinking. But we're quietly aware of thoughts lightly. Seeing that thoughts, whether good or bad, generous or ungenerous, that's the duty of perception. That arises within the perception itself. That's what must be known in the form of sensation, memory, and perception. As for the spirit itself, it's the mind's consciousness. They'll perceive various symptoms through the training we bring, awareness or mindful observation. That's the practice of giving knowledge to wisdom or giving knowledge to the spirit, also known as mind consciousness or the knower itself. So, the original knower. It is a knower who is full of ignorance. Knower that. Giving meaning, giving instructions for everything. It's knowing filled with suffering. Because knower has never gone through the process of training. So, we rely on knower to train to understand reality. Then knower will become wiser. Becoming wiser. The intelligence is in the fact that they don't take anything with their own knowledge. There's nothing else to do. They see everything as a burden. Knowing is a burden. Is knower that's active. Knower that's remembering, knower that's thinking. Knowing without a burden. Is knowing without having to do, remember, or think anything at all, just knowing. So, knower, they know themselves. And they can know just by themselves. Which we don't need to intervene in knowing. Because intervening in knower would be considered forcing knowing. Making knower not know anything. Like fixing knowing. Maintaining knowing. Knowing without maintenance. Is called compost awareness. Don't force knower to know. Let it know naturally. Capable of moving. Able to act on their own, able to know everything. Able to control everything, that's knowing surrounding by themselves, because we don't force to know. Like meditation. Knowing of meditation. We must focus into one thing. That's a means to access peace. But knowing wisdom expands widely. Knowing broadly. In terms of the body. When knower is covering the whole body. The sound mind within the body, they work, whether it's sensation, memory, or perception. Is something that can work on its own. We're not practicing like we always used to. I'll always repeat that. We've come to rest. We've come to relax the body. We've come to rest. Relax the body. Relax the mind. When we practice relaxing the mind, relaxing the body naturally, relaxing knower naturally, that's considered knower is starting to access normalcy. It's a way. It is a contradiction to the practice we used to do. Because I think this method is the easiest to access. To let go. Therefore, letting go. Everyone yearns for. Practice to let go. The more you want to let go, the more it won't let go. I want to let go for a moment. It didn't let go. Because we didn't let go of the desire of wanting to let go. Because in reality, no one let go. We have to let go of everything. When starting to practice, we have to let go of everything. No need to practice. But we let nature take its course. With nature itself, that starts from the first moment we start taking the course. Let your body work on its own. Let your mind work. Let knower works by itself. That is, we don't have to do it. It's like we bring our bodies into the process. Bring your heart into the process, bring your knower into the process. Let three things do their work. The body can function by itself. The heart can do its own duty. Knower can do the duty by itself. Therefore, the trick of knowing is, we have hide knower. Secretly observe lightly or secretly glance lightly. This is how to look at the mind. We have hide knower. Secretly look at your body without letting your body know that someone is watching. Secretly know your heart as if there is someone who is secretly knowing your heart. Don't let the heart know. To not realize it, you have to let it be carelessly joyful. Let knower be carelessly joyful. Let your body act in a carefree and enjoyable way. Let your heart act in a careless way. Let knower be careless. But during that moment, knower will change the situation to know while being careless. Because knower while being careless, knower will be light and comfortable. You will see that, while being careless, knower will be separated from what is known. It will be clearly seen that this part being known, knower separates the other part from the other. Really different. What you know will naturally show. Knower will know naturally. No one making knower knows. It's a time of practicing knower to be careless. You see that everything is separated from each other. And knower will have no more doubt. Withdraw and repent from what is known naturally. Only outstanding knowing remains. It has nothing to do with what is known. That is knower that is not done. Know how to withdraw. Knower has to see fault. Seeing that everything is a burden. Once practiced, anything that is burden and obstacle, knower will know from experience. What do you do that makes knower is a burden? Knower will experience that doing this is too tight. We have to make adjustments because this is practice. It is a practice of adjusting knower to a natural, light and comfortable rhythm of free knowing. When we can practice being calm until we know we are free from the cause. Freedom from what can be known. Knower and feeling that this is the freedom that comes from peace and freedom from enlightenment insight. During the time when knower withdraws, knower will feel relieved and be free. Knowing that you have given up. Let it remember. Let it does thing. Knower won't take it anymore. That knower will automatically bounce off. Because knowers already know. Every action. It's a burden. Just let him feel the lightness of nature. When you make knower do things heavy, he won't take it. He immediately bounces off from that heaviness. See everything as a burden. That is, wisdom has arisen by knower itself. Knower knows how to bounce out. It doesn't want anything anymore. The wisdom of knowing is not wisdom that comes from understanding. Because that understanding is a memory. If we still yearn for understanding, look for understanding by taking doubt to be the solver. When in doubt, go and act on the doubt. It will continue to find the one it suspects. If you doubt it, then solve it. I was curious and went to find out. To get rid of doubts. Actually, it's not. We have to let go. The one you're suspicious of. Because what is the one in question? It is a mental formation. It is something that is known. So the knower doesn't have any doubts. Knower doesn't need any reason. Knower doesn't require understanding at all. But knower needs only one thing. Know independently. Know independently. That is, knower that is not going to sink. Knower doesn't well. Knowing doesn't do, doesn't think. That must let knower see its own self. That it can be free. Whether it's genuine or just knowing. So, the word just here. It will happen by knower itself. It will do itself. Not that we make it do. If we make it do, we would be interfering with knower. And it won't end. The realization of Dhamma isn't a realization because of understanding. But during that realization, all the noble monks, they let go. Let go. Because they see everything as a burden. How did Ananda become enlightened? You know about his history. During the period of his diligence. No matter how diligent he was, he couldn't realize, but the period when he did realize, he let go for a moment. By just laying down to rest. He realized during that nap. Just by laying down, while laying down, thinking of resting. But during that period of rest, he didn't rest. He was glancing knowing at that moment. Because his own glancing made him realize that everything is separate and working individually. It didn't happen because of understanding. Seeing that knower separates from the known, he realized it himself. That's during his glancing. It's the way to realize Dhamma. Having the same feeling, the same method that I am trying to teach you with my experience. When knowers see everything separated, you abandon your tasks, realizing that everything is not the task of knower free itself from symptoms. It is enlightenment. Because you abandon tasks, you don't have to do anything at that moment. So, we take the moment of the Ananda's discourse for practice, which is not doing anything from the beginning, just letting everything work on its own. This is the method of enlightenment we must follow. The way how the Buddha teaches his disciples. How did Sariputta monk get enlightened? In history, you abandoned tasks for Dhamma. So, I often say that when Sariputta monk got enlightened, Buddha shows the Dhamma to Sariputta monk's nephew was mad at Buddha, while Sariputta monk was serving Buddha. Then, Buddha told Sariputta monk's nephew that whatever she dislikes, she should dislike those things either. He's getting caught up in disliking. Buddha tells him to dislike those things either, that is, satisfaction and dissatisfaction. Let go of that. When Sariputta monk's nephew see that, he let it go. Eventually, he got enlightened to be 572:031 and 53 seconds 700:031 and 55 seconds 033 in Anakama. With the same sentence, Princess Sariputta monk also abandons tasks for the Dhamma that he was examining, seeing that the Dhamma is nature and abandons tasks of nature. For the Dhamma he is learning, he got enlightened because he abandons tasks for the Dhamma. Not taking it or dying for the Dhamma, not wanting reasons for the Dhamma, it is letting the Dhamma be the Dhamma for what is called. The knower of the truth surrounds Dhamma, being the knower of Dhamma. This is an example. So, what I teach is not taught by myself, but the method of all the various teachings of the Buddha. That we can grasp the opportunity when we abandon tasks and set knower be free. Without doing anything. Just stay still, be aware, and glancing lightly. When there is any sensation, just know lightly. If knower is not light, well, we are aware. Secretly let knower glance lightly, with that sensation. During secretly let knower glance lightly makes us see nature, separating by themself when you are a bit careless. So, we must be willing to be careless a little, to make knower light. But we will always be careless when we notice just put a bit more conscious 596:033 and 28 seconds 700:033 and 29 seconds 733. It's like we are half asleep, half awake, in the sanctuary of peace. But we will not let it sleep. We will not allow it to sleep. That's how we reach the essence of meditation. Peace of meditation. Because it's in the middle, half asleep, half awake. Wake up. It's not peaceful. When asleep, no peace. Therefore, we have probably done this before, always waking up, maintaining awareness, not allowed to fall into a trance. As soon as the breath disappears, try to bring the breath back. When the body disappears, try to feel it back. When the prayer disappears, try to bring prayer back. Then we have to let go. When the time is right. When teacher pray, he will let prayer go. When prayer disappeared, he let it go. Because if he keep praying, it's annoying. So he gave up prayer. Because maintaining the body is a burden. So he gave up his body. Because maintaining the breath is a burden. So he gave up on the breath. Because knower will be wise when it leave body, leave breathing, leave prayer. Now it will begin to feel light and comfortable having only knower left. That is the trick of having to give up prayer in order to reach the base of peace. Enlightenment is the same. We must give up what is known. No need to maintain. What is known are all symptoms. willing to give up what is known in order to gain. Let go of what you know. Knower will be freed from all known things. Must agree to return. Knower be separated self. While knowing, willing to give up. Return what you know. We must return what is known to nature. Then give up the knower. What Abbot Dull said when he found a knower, he had to destroy the knower. Let go of what you know and let go of knower. Let the knower know by itself naturally. Therefore, every action must be stopped. Whether how hard you try to think, you won't get the answer. Abbot said. Only when you stop thinking. Stop doing it. Stop remembering that you will get the answer, because you see. Every thought is a burden. To stop thinking does not mean to make it stop. Thoughts are still being thought. But knower doesn't interfere with thoughts. It doesn't use thoughts as the judge of nature. It allows nature to judge with its own nature. Thus, there's no need to think, to interfere with nature. When you stop thinking, you know. What knower will get? When you stop thinking, knower will get freedom and comfort. Knower will realize when you don't have to think, you become comfortable, because knower is above thought. The meaning of Abbot Mun 660:36 and 41 seconds 766:36 and 44 seconds 033 difficult for us to interpret. But once we have trained and can access Abbot Mun's methods, we will understand what Abbot Mun means by Dhamma. Stop thinking. No matter how much you think, you don't know. Right? Stop wanting. No matter how much you want, you won't let go. So we have to stop wanting. Don't take desire as the one to let go. So desire is the root cause of suffering. We have to let go of all desires, without using desire to judge. Ultimately, all practices, we will lose everything. Lose confidence. Lose knowledge. Lose possessions. Lose everything until there's only pure knower left. Lose the cause. Lose the effect, only knower with freedom left. No need for reasons. No longer wanting anything. No longer believing anything. Lose confidence. To live without any confidence at all. But living with presence. That there's nothing to believe. Fresh things are what's present. That happens, exists, fades away. With their own symptoms. There's nothing to believe in. Because it's unbelievable. Why it's unbelievable? It fades away. With its own symptoms. It's unbelievable. Knower stops believing in symptoms. But knower can still exist in the present. That means, it's about knowing. About just knowing. Just understanding. There's still understanding. There's still insight, but just only. Because knower's already seen burden. It doesn't takes everything upon itself. With no one take anything. That knower then becomes knowing without a knower. It's the nature of knower without a knower to know. And become innocent knower. Like the knowing of a child. Seeing anything as insignificant. To anything. Stop interpreting, stop analyzing. Only remaining with simple knowing. Only remaining with foolish knowing. It's foolish, it accepts foolishness. Because it's wise. It's not the kind of smart we know. Smart thinking, smart remembering, smart doing. But that's all a burden. Knower that sees intelligence is knowing that doesn't hold on to anything, that's the intelligence of knower. It lets go of everything by itself. From the process of training. Without anyone doing it. So this practice and training, we have to bring knower to train. Bring knower to practice according to. What I say every day is to be still, observe, know your whole body gently and lightly. Knowing oneself gently and lightly. If knower is too heavily, we have to adjust. Throughout the day. Sitting relaxed. Walking relaxed. Standing relaxed. Sleeping relaxed, so we relax every moment. During our relaxation, every moment, we see the naturalness of being itself. From when we stand, walk, sit, lie down, seeing everything operates automatically, like a robot that can walk. With the power of electricity, our bodies are no different from robots. When we sleep, half asleep, half awake, we see that our bodies work on their own, breathe on their own completely. It's as if this body isn't ours. The same goes if we be still, observe gently, we'll see that the body work on its own completely. So our bodies never stay still. They vibrate constantly. Our bodies have two rhythms: stillness and motion. That is body vibration. Our bodies have vibrations and stillness. They have their own rhythms, even the heartbeat. It doesn't beat continuously, it has pauses. In the heartbeat rhythm, there are beats. Beats. That means there are pauses. In breathing, there are rhythms too. When we inhale and exhale, there are pauses to change breath. They have two rhythms: motion and stillness. Our bodies, they'll inflate and deflate. There are two rhythms. That's body vibration. Let us observe body vibration as two rhythms, seeing that it operates in two rhythms. When we observe the body's two rhythms of vibration, let's observe the mind that's vibrating simultaneously. So our bodies have two rhythms. Our mind also has two rhythms. Our minds have two rhythms. There's vibration and stillness. How do we know when the mind vibrates? How do we know when the body vibrates? We have to be still, lightly know. In the body, seeing that the body can vibrate on its own. And lightly know, in the mind, seeing that the heart can vibrate. Mind vibration is normal state. It's just being neutral. Not having done anything yet. When something happens, it vibrates. Whether it's pleasure or pain, it vibrates. It vibrates with pleasure, it vibrates with pain, it vibrates neutrally. Memory vibrates when remembering and forgetting. Mental formation is thought. It vibrates with thoughts, vibrates to stop thinking. It's all two rhythms. It's a mechanism. It's the workings of nature with itself. The body and knower is the same, it can perceive vibrations. But knower itself doesn't vibrate. Anything at all. Just going to perceive vibrations. All the teachings we can't see if we're not still. Truly, we're not peaceful. We'll never truly see this while we will never truly see this ever while we're still, calmly knowing lightly. You will be able to feel every detail I've mentioned. Not seeing because we try to see, but because of knower. Entering the atmosphere, descending into the midst of calmness, then seeing nature. Delicate details with the power of knower itself. So, it requires tranquility. Real delicacy. Really being in the subconsciousness, in order to see the truth. The subconsciousness within is not the subconsciousness without. It's the subconsciousness of the calmness can perceive the condition of the mind. With the power of knower. While forgetting that, I'll talk more often. Must allow oneself to forget. While forgetting, knower can adjust oneself. While forgetting, while descending into the subconsciousness. Knower can adjust oneself while descending into the subconsciousness. While descending into the subconsciousness and while being in subconsciousness, that means knower enters the atmosphere of calmness. Can't see the condition during that interval. So we have to place knower and find the focal point of knower. Our focal point is knower that it's light and comfortable. Try to find it. Relaxing. Knower that being beside the body. Knower without sinking into the body. And knowing without going too far away, finding a good interval. Not delving into the body. If knower delves into the body, it will be too focusing. Knower going outside the body will be a distraction. But knower the proximity beside the body. This is the range of knower being able to know the body's workings. Being able to know the mind's workings. If knower goes outside the body, it will be lost outside. That's called exporting outside. That's the focus point of knower must be just right. Different in each person. Bring knower to glance. Or bring knower to peep the body. That means, knower accesses the interval beside the body. Because there are those who secretly peeps on the body. There will be those who secretly peeps on the mind too. Those who secretly peeps the mind. Seeing the behavior of the mind, the symptoms of the mind. Work in conjunction with the body's behavior. The body works normally on its own. The mind also works normally on its own. Knower also functions normally. It's an observance, a practice. Practice is necessary. Must practice. So, in this course, we don't need to stress ourselves with practice. Be aware that we're taking a rest after we've been practicing diligently with it for so long, really putting in the effort. Trying to make knower light and comfortable. And the lightness and comfort of knower is the signal that knower is ready to learn. Wanted to eat. Eat. Wanted to walk. Walk. Wanted to sleep. Sleep, because we're here to rest. It's a school of eating, sleeping, and walking. No need to wake up at 3, 4, 5. Wake up whenever. Sleep whenever. While sleeping, we're not just sleeping. Free sleeping. Not just resting. We also observe and glancing while we're sleeping. Some people are good at practicing while sleeping. Letting the body be comfortable because of peaceful sleep. Sleeping peacefully enables us to understand the nature of the body. Sitting peacefully, walking peacefully, standing peacefully, sleeping peacefully. Let everything work on its own. Without us having to do anything. No need to sit stiffly. Or if someone wants to sit stiffly, they can. Sit straight and walk straight, do as you please. Whatever. No compulsion. No compulsion here. The rule is, compulsion is. Don't talk. Don't speak. Why have this rule? Because if we don't speak, we'll be relieved of the burden of having to constantly send out verbal communications to other person. All that's left is the knower that does not need to do anything. We should take the knower that we have, to study, to observe, and learn about ourselves. Why do I have to ask to confiscate the phone? Because we believe that while we are outside, we are never with our bodies. We are always with phones. For those who are with phones, they try to find everything external. The desire to know, to see, to doubt, but about external matters. So, we miss the opportunity to learn about ourselves. Once there are no phones around, we will have more time with ourselves. We will learn more about ourselves. So that we can access fresh things. About ourselves. That's the rule. Who will benefit from this rule? This rule benefits you all. If everyone practices and talks to each other about various things, it's not beneficial, because it's all projection outward. And it doesn't bring peace. Some people desire peace, want to be alone, yet not peaceful. So, standing alone, sitting alone, sleeping alone, praying alone, as preferred. We consider ourselves cutting off from the external world entirely. All that remains is our world, our solitary body. Our world of solitary knower. Taking our solitary body as the foundation. Taking our solitary knower. Practicing knowing within the solitary body. Because in reality, we only have one body. In reality, we only have one knower each. There's nothing more than knower. Isn't that right? Who has two knower? Who has two bodies? No one, everyone has just one body. Although everyone should have just one knower. So, take that single knower, and reside within the single body. Practicing like this is knowing oneself fully, lightly residing within the solitary body. And this solitary body will reveal its nature for the solitary knower to learn from itself. Simply keeping the solitary knowledge within the solitary body, not projecting outward. We will see that the body has nothing at all. Considering the internal aspect of the body, within our bodies, there's just one layer of skin wrapping everything inside, just the same. From the mouth down, inside, everything is the same, with internal organs. From the teeth in, there's just a tongue. Everyone has a tongue, each person has one. All the same, and inside, there are airways. Food tubes, 2 lungs, and stomachs, for old and new food. Digestion, decomposition, all inside. But the skeletal framework covering, one layer of skin and nerves. Guide our body's movements. All the same. This is one body. Women have the same as men, truly, there's no woman or man, just the structure they've constructed as natural, female and male. There's just one body. Considering what's inside, what's fresh, there's all the same, fresh like each other. Just one body. Just 32 elements. Just earth, water, fire, air. Elements. 32, that's earth and water combined. No more than that. 12 types of water. 20 types of earth, totaling 32 types. Find and you'll see that everything functions on its own. It's hot, cold, soft, hard. What we can see with our eyes is earth elements and water elements that we can see the color of. But air and fire elements we can't see with our eyes, but we can feel. It's relying on sensation. When fire is warm and air is cool. So, coming quietly, knowing hot, cold, soft, hard. This is us quietly knowing the 4 elements. Cool, warm, soft, hard, all within one body. All functioning. Cool, warm, soft, hard, all within one body. But we don't need to know the details. Just gently maintain knowing. Being with the present sense. We'll see nature being itself. All within one body. We never turn to look at ourselves. Because we never silently observe ourselves. Because we never silently learn ourselves, we don't see ourselves. There's only one way to make us more acquainted with our nature. Quietly observe gently. Silently learn gently. When we learn, when we observe, it depends on the practice. However, at the beginning, we need to use, observe the body first. As we begin to observe, we attain consciousness. While we observe within the body, we achieve firmness of concentration while we observe within the body. This is principle. While we observe, knower won't be light and comfort, but we gain intense concentration. Observing what they are, or observing sounds in the ears. Observing the taste on the tongue. Observing the scent in the nose. Observing the body functioning on its own. We will attain concentration. Gain peace from meditation, because the mind observes within the body. But we knower won't be light and comfort. When we gain concentration through observation, we change to glancing. Glancing and peeping on what they are. That's how we ascend to insight. While glancing, we immediately gain insight. In moments of quiet observation, we are achieving conscious mindfulness. We elevate ourselves to insight. Is that we just change to glancing and peeping lightly, seeing nature rise and cease. Because as we glance and peep, we see everything rise and cease. The arising and ceasing is inside itself. It is the three characteristics. If we don't see the three characteristics, it will remain doubtful. Seeing the three characteristics, nowhere will start to be free. Seeing everything, impermanent, suffering, non-existence. The word impermanent, non-existence, it's not a language. But it's not a symptom. What symptom is impermanent? All those symptoms, it's not impermanent. It changes all the time, that symptom. Every symptom that is something known, it cannot be maintained. That is the symptom of impermanent, which is something known and about suffering. Wherever the suffering is, every obstacle is the symptom of everything known. That it's hard to endure is all the feeling. Hard to endure. That's the symptom that's hard to endure, so it's called every suffering in the symptom. And what is non-existence symptom? Non-existence is symptoms of everything known that can be controlled. Because it's not a self. This is the true essence of the word impermanent. Suffering and non-existence. That happens freshly with every symptom. It depends on which angle of the symptom is observed. Glancing and peeping. That's it. To see impermanent in the symptom. When we observe, we won't see impermanence. As much as while we glancing and peeping. It sees everything because nowhere is being out of all symptoms. Too much talking. Actually, there's not much. All I'm saying is for you to know. The path of practice has many channels. Ultimately, it comes down to be free. Train nowhere to be light. Listening and remembering. It's a burden. But fundamentally, the trick I'm trying to tell you is to practice. Summing up. What we have to do. What we don't have to do is not to do everything. What we have to practice is to practice observing ourselves gently. This is what we have to practice. To be still, observe ourselves gently in the body alone. Keep in mind right here. And then let's practice relaxing. While we observe, we'll know where it's tense. Where it's tense, we'll relax right there, like nowhere is tense. We'll relax nowhere. Body tense, then relax body. Mind tense, then relax mind gently. This is the next step. As we relax the body and mind, nowhere will start to lighten. Awareness throughout your body. When tense, then relax. Relax awareness gently. When nowhere is light and comfort, nowhere becomes natural. Bring nowhere to peep. Every symptom, by being next to the body. Continue like this. That's the practice you needs to do. Review once more. Awareness throughout gently. Then relax the body. Relax the mind. When it's tense. And then it relaxes. Now bring awareness to peep lightly. Next step. Just do this, nothing else. Just do 3 things. Awareness throughout, gently. Quiet, aware of one's own symptoms. Shake oneself. Inflate, then deflate, no need to focus the breath. Let it come in and out by itself. Just subtly observe that the breath comes in and out. The body inflates and deflates by itself. We say this because we want to separate knower from what is being known. In summary, don't intervene, don't do anything. Don't take awareness to do. Understand. Understand. Anyone doesn't understand, raise your hand and ask. Give the opportunity to ask. If you all understand, it's fine. Tomorrow, let's come to submit the homework. Everyone practice today first. Remember, Be aware throughout, gently. Practice relaxing, gently aware. Don't strain your eyes. Don't tense your body. Be aware, don't tense. When aware that the eyes begin to strain, relax them. When the body tenses, relax the body. When knower is tensed, relax the knower, because when you know clearly, it will make knower tense. So, when knower is tense means that we're knowing things too clear, so what we know doesn't have to be clear. Awareness is unclear, light awareness, that's it. Fix this. Understand. If you understand, then review yourself thoroughly, let's practice. There's nothing else, just summarize it like this. Astu.